Gerry's a good interview with you.
Oh, he was a funny guy. He had a horse, and remember he had a horse, Royal Ski. I think it won 7 out of 8. I think it was Seattle Slew was the other one. And I think it won, he was up for a Coach of the Year. It was between him and Seattle Slew. And I used to really go on getting the puck around the boards. And he had 2 horses around the boards and off the glass.
Yes.
And he was a funny guy. And I got to tell a funny story. He was at Team Canada. Rogie Vachon was our
so this would have been the 74 Canada Cup.
Yeah, 74. No, 76. 76. It was after the 72 that they had, the big.
So this was the first kind of real big
so
tournament.
we had to win.
Yeah.
Back in and we were really going, and we ended up with Drizilla at the end, and Sittler got the winning goal. But I remember we had an exhibition game. It was so. And it was for the kids, and it was for charity and everything. I think we had 17,000 kids just going nuts and everything. And Gerry was the starting goaltender.
So it was an inter-squad game.
An inter-squad game, and it was a tough game though. I remember Savard had broken his leg the year before, and Lanny McDonald was a good friend of mine, as he still is. And he cross-checked him, and Savard come back at him. And I remember everybody booed Savard. Then they asked me after, what did you think of Savard? He was a heavy guy. And I said, I don't blame Savard. He's got to be here. What the hell is he doing? Cross-checking a guy that broke his leg the year before. So anyhow, but that's not, so Gerry was in the net. And I pulled him. I pulled him out, and boy, he was,
Well, tell him the reason why you pulled him.
Well, yeah, I will. But so I'm in the dressing room, and Gerry's a little ticked off. He says, I'm the only guy in the world that's been pulling an inter-squad game. And I said, yeah, Gerry. I said, well, the reason I did it was, boy, I said, that shot. I said, what a shot he's got. It almost hit you. And the players, you got to think about that. He's a goaltender.
Well, I remember because I remember, I think I was at that game. I think I came up, and people didn't realize how hard Steve Shutt could shoot a puck.
Oh, boy, could he.
And he was just coming down his wing, and he let one go, and it went right by his head. It hit the glass, and it went bang. And, Gerry
I think he did that on purpose all the time.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, he used to shoot. Guys used to shoot high on him. Yeah.
Boy, what 60 goals he got.
60 goals.
60 goals. That year, now I'm getting sidetracked here. That year, Canadians had 60 goals on left wing, 35 goals Lemaire, and 52 goals on the other side. Think
with
about
Guy.
that.
Yeah.
Guy Lafleur. Yeah, well, yeah, and I keep thinking, but anyhow, Cheevers was really funny. And you should have heard the guys laugh. And he never got into another game. And the other thing he used to think he was pretty clever, right? All goaltenders, if you notice, half of them are color guys and everything. I think he's pretty clever. And I remember I used to, with Jonathan and Winsink, they were sort of my guys that I come. And I used to stand at the red line, and I'd pass them the puck, and they'd get just over the blue line on the left-hand side and put it right along the ice, And Cheevers, the practice would be over, and Cheevers would stand at the Zamboni in that corner and just laugh. He'd smile and shake his head. No way, no way. So, and I used to do a day at practice after practice. And honest to God, I remember this was in Pittsburgh, and he wasn't playing. He was at the end of the bench. And I remember Jonathan come down and let it go just the same way as I practiced it. Everything got it the same way, and the goaltender never had the stick straight. He had it out of the side. Bing, went in the top corner. So I never said anything to Cheevers. I just kept staring at him, and he wouldn't look at me. Anyhow, he was 32. Imagine going to 32 games unbeaten. Yeah. He used to have ties back in those games. So I had a lot of fun, and he had a great horse in Royal Ski Boy.
Yeah.
And he could have made a lot of money. And I remember he had off the boards. He named one horse off the boards, and off the glass and around the boards. That was a big thing. He got so sick of hearing that all the time. And they made a rule. They made that rule that they shoot it over the glass. That was for Cheevers. They put that in because what happened was if we got a little tired or we weren't doing as good, he was so good. He could handle the puck so good. He put it over the glass, and that's a rule because of Gerry Cheevers.
Yeah. So just before we go and run the interview, just one of the things that I always found kind of interesting was a lot of times on a morning skate, you would just tell Gerry not to put the pads on, just go for a skate.
Yeah, he hated practice with a passion. He was like Terry Sawchuk. He couldn't see stopping pucks, and you know, guys that are great now, they stop. They're just as tough in the practice as they are in the game. But he didn't believe in that, and maybe that's why he lasted until he was at least 36. So I used to let him go in his sweats, and he just loved it. He passed the puck, and he tells a story about how I played a trick on him, and I'll tell you at the end what really happened.
Again, I just wanted people like the Cherries and the Cheevers, we were good friends. Mom and Betty were good friends. We used to go on vacation and stuff like that, and that was a great interview. But you guys really didn't go into that story about the pads and him not liking practice. So go in a little bit more detail what happened there.
Well, in the morning skates, I know he was like Terry Sawchuk. He did not like, he couldn't see stopping pucks in a practice. Now the practice is the guys, the goaltenders now practice just as hard in the practice as they do the games. Maybe that's why Gerry lasted till he was 36 or anything. So, and he had a bad knee. So I knew this, and you know, can I just jump in something else? I used to read about Mike Palmateer. He had a bad knee, and the coach made him practice in the morning. You know, it didn't make any sense to me. Why make the guy? And he was the same as Cheevers. When the game was on, he'd win. Anyhow, Cheevers, I used to let him go in his sweats. He used to pass the puck, and he loved it. And 32 on Beat Street, and he was great for us. But he was a goaltender that didn't care about his average. He just wanted to win. We'd get up 5-1. You know it was going to end up 5-3, but when it got that there, he'd stop the puck.
Yeah. But you were saying a lot of times he would ruin scrimmages.
Oh, he'd steer the puck in the net. And Terry O'Reilly, who really was intense during the practice as he was the games, came to me and he says, you know, I just hope he doesn't come out because he ruins every practice. He's steering the puck in the net. And I'm trying to, and he was our leading scorer, Terry O'Reilly. So I said, okay. I call the guys as he tells the story. And I told him he had to hit the right pad. It wasn't his stomach or anything. It was the right pad.
So if you hit the right pad, it was a goal.
It was a goal. And the stupid guys put their stick in the air when they have to hit the right pad. But he treats it as a joke now. But believe me, he did not talk to me for about 2 weeks because all the guys laughed.
But you were saying, like, he didn't catch on right away.
No. He come up to me after the practice and he says, Grapes, you notice how I'm playing so much better now? I said, you are, Gerry. And then he found out, boy, he was mad.